Hey, we're going to be talking about how to stay positive in a negative situation today. So if you have a negative situation that you want to turn into positive, you've come to the right place. Hey, this is Wylene Benson, and I am so excited for our topic today, how to stay positive in a negative situation. And because you are asking this question, I'm going to actually share with you something that I don't share with very many people. I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable today. My husband and I had a situation a couple of years ago where we were working with a mentor, a financial mentor, and he had some really great, awesome information to share and a lot of great processes. The problem was we were not ready. We were not ready for the technical aspects that he was throwing in. We didn't have the mindset. There were a lot of things that we just had not prepared ourselves to participate in the program that he was offering. And so we had some really great stuff, and I've learned a ton from him. But the part that I want to share with you is that when we really dived in and we got started with this, we went in 100%. And so we did everything that he said. And honestly, we were way in over our head. And I felt like I was in underwater, we were way over our head. And what I felt like was that all my finances got tossed up into the air, and this huge north wind came blowing in and just threw all my finances around the whole area. And I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know how much money we had. I didn't have a clue like what our position was. I didn't even know what our credit score was. And this happened in a fairly short amount of time because we just put everything into this system that we didn't understand and we weren't prepared to uphold. And this situation went on for about a year and a half. I was in denial. I kept thinking I can handle it. I can fix it. I just need a little more time. And there were so many things that I felt like I could do, but in the end, I really couldn't. I wasn't ready for it. So for a year and a half, we went with our finances really not understanding where we were or what our situation was. In fact, to a point where we'd never been late on bills and we started getting late on payments and things like that. And I was so stressed out about this, and I felt like this was such a negative situation. And once we were in the middle of it and we had this whole mess, I didn't know how to get out of it. Like, I didn't even feel confident to go back to the old way that we were doing it. It was that messed up. What I discovered in that year and a half was an amazing lesson, an amazing, awesome realization. I didn't go to jail. I was never late on my house payment. I might have been late on a couple of bills, but I always paid all my bills. We still have a really awesome credit score. Maybe it dipped a point or two. And that was it. We're still investing in real estate. We still have our home. We still get to go out to dinner. We still, everything that happened before, we're still doing. Now, it's been about 6 months since I got everything put back together, and so we're actually feeling really good about our finances right now. But for about a year and a half, I really had no clue. And I kept thinking at any moment, the IRS or somebody was going to come knocking at the door and say, you need to come with us because you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But it never happened. And so the cool lesson that I learned is that it's not that big a deal. You can do a lot of things and have a really awesome outcome, even if you don't know what you're doing. So the first thing to remember is it's really not that big a deal. The second thing is to get yourself in a neutral space. So after you realize that it's really not that big a deal, then just get yourself to a neutral space. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, empty your vessel, like we talked about in a past video, and then make a plan. And that plan obviously is going to consist of owning up, finding accountability, taking ownership, taking responsibility for the things that maybe you could do or maybe that you did that got you in this situation to start with. And regardless of whether this is a situation that was created by someone else or a circumstance or whatever, there's some sort of accountability that you can find in it, something that you can do or something that you did to create the situation. Maybe it was even just an attitude that you had or whatever. It could be something really simple, but find a piece of accountability. So in this neutral space, you can find accountability. And also in this neutral space, you can find gratitude. So for me, my gratitude in this situation, well, first of all, my accountability in this situation was that I jumped in without having all the information. I took on way too much and I didn't ask for help. So that was my accountability. The gratitude that I find in the situation is that I realized after 1.5 years that it wasn't that big a deal. So now I'm very conscious about my finances, and I also know that if I'm off a penny or if I, am a day late on a bill, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. All right, and the third thing is to make a plan. To make a plan to move forward and get back into that positive space. And I found the best way to get into a positive space is to take a look at the beliefs that are making me feel like it's a negative space, negative situation. So I take a look at it and I say, is it really a negative situation? Is there some way that I could see positive in this? And finding the gratitude in a situation is a really awesome way to find yourself in a positive space. And changing your beliefs from that different perspective of this is actually really awesome. So with my situation, I changed my beliefs from this was a negative situation to I'm so grateful that I was able to have this experience. And now I know what I'm capable of. Now I know who I need to reach out to if I need help, if I feel like I'm over my head. And I also know that I can do anything, and that now that the situation has resolved itself, that we're actually even better off than we were, and we've learned tons of lessons along the way. First of all, realizing it's not that big a deal. Second of all, get yourself to a neutral space so you can find accountability and gratitude. And third, create a plan. How do you get yourself from feeling like it's a negative situation to where it is a positive situation, and that will get you back to positive. If you learned something new in this video, be sure to like it. And hopefully you're taking away from this video that whatever your situation is, no matter how it used to seem negative, that it's really no big deal. And it can totally be turned around into positive, just like that.